Hey, what is up guys, Zero here. Welcome back to another Lorcana video. Today we have a fresh new league and a fresh new round 1 for said league. As fate would have it, I am matched once again against my friend here, piloting Emerald Amethyst aggro on the left. He was already featured once in this channel. I will link the video down below if you missed it. Also somewhere on the screen if you want to click it there. But yeah, he thoroughly crushed me last time. He came out victorious in our previous match. So here we go. This is going to be a grudge match. I'm coming back for my revenge. And I'll be on the right, piloting blue steel as always. The deck has been tweaked since the last video yet again. The deck list is below, but I am trying out Detective Mickey in this iteration of the deck. I personally think both the Detective Mickey and the one jump ahead variants of the deck each have their merits, but the Mickey variant in particular seems to be a better matchup against Ruby Amethyst, which is becoming the most prevalent deck in my area. So I thought I'd get some practice with it and see if I end up liking it. If I do, I can roll with it into the set championship. But yeah, on to the game. I am on the play this time around, which is a much better position to be in against such a hyper aggro version of this deck. I ink Shmi and passed my turn while my opponent inks Merlin Crab and plays out his Maleficent. Always seeing this Maleficent turn 1 is a pain for sure. But yeah, on my turn, I ink my Beast Tragic Hero, which is a new addition. I had opted to get this card out of my deck earlier because I didn't like the matchup against Madame Medusa, and I don't like, I kind of just, it was very easy to remove and just, not be a factor in the game. But yeah, I started to play with it again because, getting Mickey down on 3 and playing Beast down on 4 has its merits, and I'm just trying it out. But yeah, I do play Shmi on my turn while my opponent back on his turn. He's going to quest with his Maleficent and then bounce it back with Madame Mim Snake. On turn 3, I do get my Detective Mickey play to start to ramp and hopefully get a 5 drop on my turn 4. I quest with Mr. Shmi just because I feel like, if he decides to trade his snake into Shmi, that's worth it in my opinion. And I do get the 2 lore straight away. My opponent does opt to quest with his snake instead though. And for 3 ink, he does play Peter Pan, the Rush Evasive card, which has 2 power, just enough to take out my Shmi since it damaged itself while being exerted. And yeah, I do get my turn 5 play. I drop Beast Tragic Hero, which ends up being a pretty good MVP of this match. Not to spoil things, but he stays on the field for quite a while, and I get to see quite a few cards. Because, Emerald Amethyst, just like as a color combination, they don't really have much of an answer to Beast. Like, they can't really ping him with any effects, and the removal that they have would be like Mother Knows Best, which honestly, if he played right there, I wouldn't have been that mad about it. But instead, on his turn 4, he drops the Queen's Castle. Now, I do have several answers to this in my deck. I do have 2 copies of Rise of the Titans, and I still have the 1 copy of Avalanche, but I don't have any of that in my hand right now, unfortunately. So I can really just let this go for now, and instead just start playing to the field. I'm trying to consider here what to do because he has a snake on the board. I could challenge it with Beast as an option, but instead I'm gonna go for, I play Tinkerbell on 6 to deal 1 damage, and then I use Beast to sing Grab Your Swords, which is maybe a questionable play. But my logic here is he didn't have the chance to flood the board, luckily, and I would rather remove his board right now, keep my Beast up and healthy so that I continue to draw off of it, and also remove the 1 card on his board so that he couldn't, take out Mickey, couldn't ping Beast if he wanted to. But we see on his next turn, my opponent does play a 2nd castle. He devastated me with this combination in my last game, so I think he's trying his luck again, especially since he saw that I could not answer the 1st castle on the 1st turn. At least he gets another castle out for free, as long as I don't top deck Rise of Titans. I guess that was kind of risky, of a play to just kind of bank on me not having it. But yeah, you see on my turn, I used, since I now got Tinkerbell on the board, the other reason I got her on the board was she and Beast together have enough power to take out a castle. So yeah, now that I have her on the board, both of them do take the castle out. I quest with Mickey, but you see on my turn, I only play a harem. I do remember this is because my hand consisted of, I think, 3 or 4 of him, and the other card wasn't very useful. But yeah, on my opponent's turn, he just plays Maleficent just for the bounce so that he can get the fox out and take my Mickey out, which isn't the best move, I think. I mean, it must be that all he can really do right now. But as you can see, I've already started to get a really dominant lead here. I play out another Tinkerbell on my next turn, and I used my kind of useless harem to attack and kill out the Madam Mim Fox. And I do make a mistake here. I forgot about his second castle, and I opt to quest with my Tinkerbell and Beast instead. I really should have just taken the castle out. That is a mistake, but it doesn't really matter. I think at this point, as you can see, my board is very, very dominant right now. I have 2 Tinkerbells, a Beast, Tragic Hero, and a harem. Just in case I draw any items, at least I already have the harem on the board now, so that, you know, I can start to draw if I do find them, which I haven't been. But yeah, my opponent on his turn will play out Merlin Goat to start to continue to lore. And as we see, our lore difference is not very high at all. He did manage to get up to 11, but now my board is kind of significant enough that it's not really a concern of mine. But yeah, on my next turn, I do find my dime, which really helps a lot. With the dime here, I can start racking up some more lore. I'll use it to get 2 additional for one of my, either my Tinkerbell or my Beast, doesn't really matter there. But yeah, I just go ahead and start to quest here. Now that, oh, sorry, not quest. I took out the castle, which I've been ignoring accidentally this whole time. I do manage to take it out. And then I quest with my remaining Tinkerbell. And I want to keep Harem up here just because I don't want an easy trade for them. And it would be nice if I do get an item that isn't the dime, because I don't want to pitch the dime off of my field to start to discard it. But yeah, my opponent will quest with his goat, and he plays out his castle and Maleficent, yet another castle. But at this point in the game, the castle is not that much of a concern for me. I do make a mistake here. If you do look at my board, I have the potential to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lore, which would end the game and win me the game. I think is it 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9? Yeah, but I make the mistake here. I think I attack with Tinkerbell, and I sang with Harem, I think. So instead, I am at 19 when I could have ended the game. So make sure on the beginning of your turn, if you don't forget, to count up your lore, and if you can win the game, you know, go ahead and win the game. That, you know, it didn't end up mattering in this game. I'm so far ahead that I do end up taking the win, but it might make a difference for either me or you know, in a future game. So definitely keep that in mind. I will definitely have to keep that in mind for set championships. Heaven knows that I have made that mistake in the past, so I gotta make sure I don't do that again. But yeah, going into game 2 here, definitely MVP of game 1 was Beast, who stayed up the entire game with no damage. So as you can see, I didn't have popsicles, I didn't have any harem draws off of game. I didn't even get the whole new world, so I was really no draws at all. But since Beast was up, I was drawing 2 every turn, which kept me going. And I was trying to show you guys my hand there if you want to rewind and check it out if you missed it, or pause it there. But yeah, I do only send 1 card back, which was my Fishbone Quill. I already had a duplicate copy in my hand, but I hold on to Grab Your Swords, Tinkerbell, which might be really helpful in the match. I had a Smee, I think. I didn't have a 1-drop. I held on to Rise of the Titans because I didn't find it the game before, and I know if Queen's Castle comes up again, it will be very nice to have. But yeah, I mean, the hand was really good. I just throw back the Quill in case I draw a 1-drop or a Mickey to start to ramp. If I don't get Mickey, I have the Fishbone Quill, so no big deal there. But yeah, on my opponent's first turn, finally, I don't see a Maleficent there. I see a Chernabog's followers, and unfortunately, after I assess my hand, I couldn't find anything to ink besides the Rise of the Titans, just because Rise of the Titans is really good against the Queen's Castle, obviously, but it's just so much later that I just need to get going right now. I didn't want to ink any of my other cards, so I just went ahead and inked it first, and we'll see if that is a mistake later. But yeah, my opponent plays Flynn Rider on his turn 2, so on my turn 2 I dropped Shmi since I already had it. And on turn 3, my opponent plays Cheshire Cat here, another hyper aggro card that he's running that is definitely annoying to deal with, and he quests with all of his characters that he could. And here I'm already having a dilemma of like, do I challenge here? What do I do? I did not find my Mickey, so I definitely use my Quill here to start to ramp. Still no 1-drops, unfortunately, but that is just the way the cookie crumbles. And yeah, I'm kind of deciding what I want to do here. Do I want to quest or do I want to start to challenge? And through my thought process here, I decide I'm going to challenge the Flynn Rider. And the reason here is, so now I'm going to drop Shmi down to 2 health, or I lose 2 health on Shmi, so he goes down to 1. And I discard the Long Game Zeus in my hand that I don't really need. And my thought here is, okay, he has 2 options here. He is kind of forced to challenge with his followers, so I saved myself another lore here, in addition to killing Flynn Rider so that it can't quest again. He's kind of forced to challenge here, because if he does not, I'm going to challenge his Cheshire Cat with my Shmi next turn, and Cheshire Cat's effect will send Shmi back to my hand, which is really helpful to me, I think, because then I can either ink it or I can play it again at full health, so that's kind of my thought process. But yeah, on my opponent's next turn, turn 4, he drops yet another Queen's Castle. This card is the bane of my existence. I just got rid of the Rise of the Titans, unfortunately, so I don't have an immediate answer to it. Maybe it was a mistake in retrospect. Maybe I should have just bit the bullet and like inked Tinkerbell. I think, yeah, I should have inked Tinkerbell for sure, just because it's such a late play, and I have much higher chance of drawing Tinkerbell again in the future. And it's not really a necessity for me. I guess I was worried that if he swarms, which he's tend to do in these kind of aggro, and he's going first, you know, on the play, I thought, oh, he might swarm me. I think Tinkerbell might be more important. And I thought I was going to have to ramp up to her, which I could on turn 4 if need be, so that's kind of what I was thinking. But here, with another Queen's Castle being played, it's like, oh, this is such a problem without Rise of the Titans, and I'm starting to see the problem here. Where, yeah, I had to play Hiram on my previous turn, and I had to get rid of my Fishbone Quill just because I did not get any of my 1-drop cantrips again. And now I have a problem where it's really hard to remove the Cheshire Cat or these Queen's Castles. And when my opponent is gaining 4 per turn with these double Queen Castles, he goes up to 17 real quick. And I am just going to scoop. It is not worth playing this where I'm so behind. And yeah, just wasn't worth it. And, you know, I just thought, you know, let's just go to the next game where I'm on to play again and hope that Lady Luck favors me this time around. But yeah, on to game 3 of this match. At least, you know, since it's aggro, it's been going pretty fast in comparison to other games, so that is nice to at least. But yeah, I throw back a whole new world from my hand. I try and show you guys a little bit there, so yeah, you are free to go back and pause if you want to take a look. But this time I draw way too many cantrips. I get my Popsicle. I think I have 2 Fortis Spheres too, so that's nice to have. But I'm going to keep it all in my hand just because my thought here is, hey, I think I had a Baboom too, but you know, if I don't have to use it, at least I can play Popsicle on 1, and I can play both Fortis Spheres on 2 if that's the case. But if I find like Mr. Shmi or something else I would rather play on turn 2, then at least I have a bunch of ink opportunities with the Fortis Spheres. But yeah, walking into this game, definitely prioritizing Rise of the Titans. Don't want to let that happen again where I got punished by Queen's Castles. But yeah, so my first turn I'm going to play the Popsicle, and I do end up inking a Fortis Sphere just because I think I wanted to keep everything else in my hand. And my opponent's going to play Curse Merfolk. Already an aggressive start, we hate to see it. But on my turn I do find Tamatoa. Oh, and I guess I already had a Mr. Shmi in my hand, so I end up opting to play that. So that's nice. Hoping I have ramp. I don't remember if I saw it earlier in my hand, but on my opponent's turn 2, he's going to play double Chernobog's followers and quest with his Merfolk. I guess I'm more glad to see Chernobog's followers than any other 1-drop. They're less aggressive at least. They will get him more draws in the case that they do manage to quest. But yeah, no, I do have my Detective Mickey on turn 3, so I can begin to ramp again. It's already looking pretty good for me. When I have this ramp on turn 3, when I have Shmi to control the board, and I even have a Popsicle out as opposed to the usual. But yeah, I did use Shmi to take out the Merfolk. He damages himself in the process, and my opponent uses one of his Chernobog's followers to take him out. He does play Peter Pan here, the Evasive Rush. It does not have the opportunity to rush this time around because I don't have any other exerted characters, but he's going to quest with his Chernobog's followers before passing to my turn. And back to my turn. On turn 4, I get to play Cogsworth since I ramped the turn before. And since I get the resist, it's nice. I'm going to be able to use Mickey to take out Chernobog's followers and only take 1 damage in retaliation. Just so you know, the Peter Pan can't clear me easily because it is a 2/3, I believe. And if I did not have the resist, it would be able to take Mickey out. But you know, on his turn 3 anyway, he has, or not turn 3, turn 4, sorry. He does have friends on the other side, so he sings it with Peter instead of crashing it uselessly into the Mickey Mouse. He inks Isabella, and he thinks for a little bit before trying to figure out what he can do against this board. That's a nice thing about Cogsworth into this deck as well. Very hard to answer, but we see on his turn 4, he does play out his Queen's Castle again. It's been treating him well this entire match, so definitely don't see why not. And we just gotta hope that I have the Rise of the Titans this time around and didn't have to ink it at any point because yeah, no, I've been having trouble this entire game. And that would be very nice to have, especially at this point where I only have a Cogsworth and a Mickey out. Not quite enough damage to take it out yet, but instead on the next turn I have enough ink for my Tinkerbell, so I'm going to play her, and I end up doing 1 damage here to the Queen's Castle with Mickey. And the thought here is it has dropped it down to 6 health, which Tinkerbell and Cogsworth together do 6 damage. So the hope is I can take it out next turn with them. If I don't find Rise of the Titans, I think even at this point here, if I find Rise of the Titans, I definitely play it against the Queen's Castle. But yeah, back to my opponent's turn. He inks his Enchantress, and I think he's gonna think a bit here on what to do because my board actually looks really nice. He does have his Queen's Castle, but he's only at 5 lore, so I'm not really concerned. He does quest with his Peter Pan here to get up to 6, but 6 not very intimidating. He uses his Madam M Fox to bounce his Peter Pan back before using it to take out my Mickey and then moving it onto the castle, which doesn't concern me at all because I'm taking the castle out this turn anyway. On the next turn, I have my Hiram and I have a Popsicle this time, luckily, to ditch. I haven't seen Popsicles almost all game, so that was nice to be able to get some draw from that. And for 2, I'm going to add Shmi onto the board as well. And yeah, Queen's Castle not going to be a problem here this game yet, at least, because I do have enough power to take it out now. I guess that's one of the benefits of going first, you know, having the opportunity to start to build my board since I don't find Rise of the Titans. Tinkerbell is a really good play, at least in this deck. Anything with like 4 health, 4 attack, I mean. Really helps to take that castle down. But yeah, that is what I do after, and I pass it back to my opponent. He's going to use his Madam M Fox to attack my Cogsworth, and then he replays his Peter Pan that he had so that he can take it out now. Pretty good, but that was a lot of resources spent on my Cogsworth, and not much to show for it. My opponent plays another Peter Pan. He opts not to crash it into my Tinkerbell just to die needlessly. But yeah, back to my turn. My board is still looking good. He is still only at 6 lore, and I'm not rushing at this point. I'm not worried about trying to beat him because if I continue to ramp up, I will eventually get the lore one way or another. But yeah, on my next turn, I do have my Beast Tragic Hero, which I know my opponent struggled really hard with the game before, so I am going to play him and use it to start to draw because I'm running out of cards. And I don't have any more Popsicles to ditch with Hiram. But yeah, I quest across the board, get myself here almost up equal to my opponent now. And he uses his Peter Pan, one of his Peter Pans, to sing Friends on the Other Side before playing Merlin Goat. Not as threatening this game as the last because, you know, he is pretty low on lore. I'm not worried about him stacking up very quickly, but he will use his other... Oh, I think he makes a mistake here. Yeah, he should have used the hurt Peter Pan to run into the Shmi as opposed to the healthy one. But it's not that big a deal, I think. I will, unfortunately here, though, have a Tinkerbell to deal the 1 damage to take out this extra Peter Pan, so it mattered a little bit, but I think in the grand scheme of things, not too big a deal. I use Along Came Zeus. I think I sing it with him there to take out his goat. Just not too worried about the lore game there. I mean, it's nice to take it off so that, you know, he can't start bouncing it for lore, but it's more to remove like a 4 attack body off of the board so that my board can remain healthy. But yeah, on my opponent's next turn, he plays Merlin Rabbit and a Maleficent, and that is very not threatening at all into my board. I'm feeling pretty good here now. I think I kind of have the game on lock. There's not much you can do at this point, and I think after this turn of questing and playing Grab Your Sword to take out the Maleficent, he finds out real quick that there's no way he can remove this board and will eventually concede. But yeah, no, really fun game. I get my revenge, yes, to beat this deck in the next run, so that felt pretty good. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this game, and if you did, please consider subscribing, liking this video, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.